July 16, 1950, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The brand new Maracanã Stadium is packed with roughly 200,000 souls. The script is already written. Samba bands are tuning up. Gold medals are engraved with Brazilian names, and the local newspapers have already printed early editions, declaring Brazil the champions of the world. All Brazil needs is a draw. But with 11 minutes left on the clock, a winger from Uruguay named Alcides Giguia strikes a low ball into the net. What followed was a sound so profound, Giguia would later say, "Only 3 people have ever silenced the Maracanã: Frank Sinatra, the Pope, and me." This is the story of the 1950 FIFA World Cup, the tournament that rewrote football history. After a 12-year hiatus, forced by the devastation of World War II, the World Cup returned. Brazil stepped up to host, building the largest stadium on earth to mark the occasion. But getting teams to South America was an absolute logistical nightmare. Out of 16 qualified teams, only 13 actually showed up. Argentina pulled out due to a political dispute with Brazil. Scotland refused to go because they finished second in Britain, and their FA proudly declared they would only travel as champions. Turkey found the travel costs too high. France accepted an invitation, but quit when they realized they would have to travel 3,000 miles by train between matches. And then there was India. Legends claim they withdrew because FIFA wouldn't let them play barefoot. The truth: travel expenses, and a federation that prioritized the Olympics over a distant tournament. With 13 teams left, FIFA threw out the traditional knockout brackets. The 1950 tournament would be decided by a unique 4-team, round-robin final group. No semi-finals, no official World Cup final. The group stages delivered immediate drama. The mighty England team, participating in their very first World Cup, suffered a catastrophic, historic 1-0 defeat to a ragtag group of part-time players from the United States. Meanwhile, the host nation was putting on a match led by their unstoppable forward, Ademir, who would finish as the tournament's top scorer with 8 goals. Brazil looked invincible. In the final round-robin group, Brazil demolished Sweden 7-1, and then crushed Spain 6. They were scoring at will, playing beautiful, fluid football. Going into the final match of the tournament, Brazil sat at the top of the group with 4 points. Uruguay scraped by with a win over Sweden and a draw against Spain, sitting on 3 points. The stage was set. Brazil versus Uruguay. A draw would hand Brazil the trophy. Uruguay needed a miracle. On July 16th, the atmosphere in Rio was carnivalesque. 2 minutes into the second half, the stadium erupted. Friaca scored for Brazil. 1-0. The party had officially started, but Uruguay refused to read the script. In the 66th minute, Uruguayan legend Pepe Schiaffino met a cross and smashed it into the roof of the net. 1-1. The stadium went slightly uneasy, but Brazil was still safe. A tie still meant a championship. Then, the 79th minute, Alcides Giguia breaks down the right wing. The Brazilian goalkeeper, Moacir Barbosa, anticipates another cross and steps off his line. Giguia spots the gap and shoots low. It was a goal. 2-1, Uruguay. The Maracanã didn't boo. It didn't shout. It went entirely, completely numb. Uruguay held on. When the final whistle blew, Jules Rimet, the president of FIFA, walked onto the pitch to hand over the trophy. There was no grand ceremony, no speeches. It's just a stunned silence as Uruguay celebrated their second world title. The defeat was viewed as a national tragedy in Brazil. It became known forever as the Maracanazo, Maracana blow. The trauma ran so deep, Brazil abandoned their white national jerseys forever, believing them to be cursed. They held a nationwide contest to design a new kit, resulting in the iconic yellow and green shirts we know today. The 1950 World Cup proved that, in football, nothing is guaranteed. It gave us the greatest upset the sport had ever seen, and a silence that still echoes through history. Special note: if you love football stories, legendary World Cup moments, and epic match drama, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us create more amazing football content every week. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe now for more classic football stories and World Cup history. Special photo.